I'm Debra Wain. I'm currently living in Cheshire. I'm in Sandbach, and I've moved up and down the country actually, from Manchester to Cheshire, Scotland, Hampshire, and now back to Cheshire again. And yeah, I started looking to do my family tree last year. As far it's from my dad's side, and it's my second great grandfather that I got back to, and his name is John Cowan. And he was born in Dublin, and to John and Kathy Cowan. I don't know much else about them because that's where I hit the brick wall. And John was born in 1821, and he was christened at St Andrew's Church in Dublin. That's all I know about him, really. His to-be wife, Ellen Connolly, I think she was born in Kinsale near Cork, and she was born also in 1821, and she was christened at St Finbarr's in Cork. So somehow or other, maybe being the same age, I don't know, they got together and they decided to come to England and ended up in Ancoats in Manchester. And yeah, so his name is down as a journeyman tailor. And I think journeyman means that he's highly skilled in his profession as a tailor. So they come over in 1841. I think they're about 20 years old when they come over. And I think straight away they get married. And they marry at St Patrick's Church on Livesey Street in Manchester. And that's in 1841. And then they go to live in Loom Street, 67 Loom Street. And then they go on to have a family, and they have about 6 children, 5 boys and a girl. And then they moved to, it was called German Street, I believe, but now it's called Radium Street. And I think it was called German Street because there was a warehouse that was German there. I think that was the thing anyway. And I think Ellen was a cotton weaver, and she was also just a housewife as well. Now Ellen died, she was only 44 when she died. She had bronchitis and heart disease, so she was only 44. And John lived until he was 71, and he died on the 10th of July, 1892. But I don't know where they're buried. A lot of my ancestors, because from him, his son, my grandfather Peter, he stayed in Ancoats, and his father stayed in Ancoats, and my dad stayed in Ancoats too. I mean, my dad was born in 1923, and he stayed there until he was married, and then he only moved to Newton Heath, which was just up the road. So lots of my family are buried in Phillips Park Cemetery. And so Peter, the son, he's buried in Phillips Park Cemetery, and what I discovered there was quite disappointing, really, because I was hoping to find some, headstone of graves of family, and he's actually in a communal, like, pauper's grave, where I suppose lots of people were in those days. I think that was about 1912 when he died, and I thought I'd found his grave. But I realized he was actually only one of 20 people in that grave, and it was now grassed over and not even a headstone or anything. And the same with his wife as well. So that was quite disappointing. But other than that, I think my dad would be very impressed, actually, to know all what's been going on in Ancoats lately, what's now the Northern Quarter, and all the improvements there. And yeah, I think he would be pleased. He said to me once that if anybody asks you where you're from, never tell them that you're from Ancoats. And when he wrote a memoir before he died of his life, he actually started off by saying, I was born in the slum area of Manchester. And it's almost like he was sort of ashamed of being in Ancoats, really, which, yes, it was quite tough down there. But yeah, all his family lived around there, and they only kind of got as far as Manchester, Moston, Drawlston, and didn't get very far. I kind of moved around, and my brother is actually back in Ireland, my brother. He's down in Cork, and like West Cork he is. So he's back to the original place really now. So I think that's all I've got really.